Thank the people involved for accepting my work into this wonderful anthology. I think it's great that you took the time and effort to pull together 20 years of history into this book and to bring it to a wider audience by doing so. So as you read through this book, it is essentially the chapters of our lives, and each of us, whoever is published in here, kind of falls into a different stage of it. My poem falls into the 1996 to 2000 category, which is relevant to issues that were going on in my life at that time. But my first experience with dealing with AIDS and all that came a bit earlier. I had an opportunity to take a trip with a first boyfriend to Fire Island on July 4th of 1985. It was like this magical place that I had never been to but heard a lot about. And as we were walking along the beach, I was seeing people with some brown spots that I had not seen before. And then later on, when I started Sensations magazine, even though it was billed as a straight publication, we accepted work of gay and lesbian writers. And one of the first poems I published was actually a song lyric by a young man who was a singer-songwriter in New York City named Joe Bracco. Joe Bracco passed away in 1991, and he was the first of several of my friends and people who I published who would pass away from this as it went on. The poem that you're about to hear is related to a friend of mine named Carl, who was a very close friend of mine who I spent a lot of time with while I was partnered with somebody else. And the three of us would just go out and do all different types of things together. And then all of a sudden I was put in this position of, Carl was not returning my phone calls, and then his job had said that, they weren't sure when he was coming back, and they weren't giving me information as to why. And so when I found out that A&U magazine was seeking work that focused on a lot of different stories, I said, well, I have a story. I have a story about the people who are pushed to the outside as people are dealing and grappling with this from the inside. So this particular poem is about that. This is when, as a poet, as a literary magazine publisher, part of what I try to do is bring voice to the voices that you don't normally hear. So in this case, it's the voice of the outsider looking in. The poem is on page 252 of the anthology, and it's titled Miss Manners Enters the 21st Century. I know the outside fork is for salad, the inside for the meal, and I never could figure out that small spoon above the plate. But there is a little etiquette issue I've been meaning to ask. Should I attend the impending funeral of a friend I've known for years whom I believe is dying with AIDS and who won't tell me? Is it a delicate thing to view through cheesecloth, handle with kid gloves? IV hookups by evening, extended absences from work, vague answers from co-workers when asked when he'll return. This is not right. Not right. Should I be sympathetic in spite of his silence? Or should I be insulted that he apparently thinks I'm stupid enough not to have figured it out? Come on, Miss Manners, give me a policy. Afternoon tea is 2:30 to 4 or 2 to 4:30. And a millennium change means nothing to a disease likely to kill 500,000 Americans by 2001. My friend may be one. Should I attend the funeral if I'm not part of the departure? Should I light a candle, read a psalm? Which psalm? What is the proper procedure?